So I've been waiting a couple of days to let all this SkyDoesMinecraft drama, simmer, go down. More and more people are coming out with a bunch of stories that we'll go over, but I decided to wait a little bit so that we have actual stuff to really cover, not just one tweet or two tweets, but a lot of stuff. And after waiting a little bit, we got a lot of stuff coming out about Adam, and we will be going through it all shortly. First things first, Elizabeth came out with 2 videos thanking people for their support, which I will play for you guys right here.
Well, I don't really know what to say. I'm not very good at things like this, but thank you for all the love you guys show me. And I would like to reiterate, I do not need money from you guys. Please donate it to a charity. Donate it to someone around you, someone that you love. I don't need it. Take care of yourself. Your mental health is just as important as mine. Just because of what I went through does not mean you guys have to apologize. You have every right to disagree with me. You have every right to agree with me. But just know, I don't want you guys apologizing for ever following this person, ever supporting this person. You have every right to feel bad. But again, I just want you guys to hold on to those memories because you can't change the past, but I'm here to help change the future and help change the paths of many people and give people a voice that was taken away. Delilah's playing with her crackers. But thank you. I do see all your guys' stories, personal things. I hear you. I'm just very overwhelmed with the volume of messages I'm getting, all the news articles and such. I'm just glad that I could help people be the voice that was taken for so long. As well as I do not want anyone getting death threats. I do not think anyone deserves death threats. No one in this situation should be receiving them. And I know it is such a thing to have to come forward and such a thing that's hard to read. So I understand your anger and frustration, but just let's help each other move forward. Let's take care of one another, and let's just make each day a better day by taking it one step at a time. And maybe it's just drinking an extra glass of water, having a proper meal, going on a walk for even around the block. Just take care of yourself. Take care of your mind. Don't let this ruin your day, ruin your week, ruin your year. Use it as not only a lesson, but use it as guidance to know what to look for down the road. To teach yourself, hey, you know what? I don't deserve this. That you can get out of any situation. You are strong enough to get out of any situation. Don't let anyone tell you, well, why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you do this? It is not their business. You have every right to do it how you please. And take your time. Take care of yourself. Just hold on to the good memories. Because that's okay. I'm still going to hold on to good memories. And we're just going to help each other move forward.
She has a good overall message. Hold on to the good memories and move forward with what happened. She said her stuff, and more people are coming about their stuff that they dealt with Adam. So now it's just time for people to let out their frustrations, any issues they have, but to know to keep moving forward and to not get caught up on this, because if you get caught up on everything, you're just going to become more mad and more upset about the whole ordeal. AntVenom ended up making his own official response on Pastebin, so let's go ahead and take a look at what he has to say. The first part right here is AntVenom giving context to the situation and why he's making the Pastebin in the first place, and how he's seen stuff with Adam, and how he's known him for so long, but that he never knew just how deep his issues went. The second part was when he saw another drama or whatever go down that happened recently. He saw a comment saying how you shouldn't hold creators on a pedestal because everybody has their own flaws and nobody is perfect. He says how it's a great point to mention and that he wanted to get that across first. that yes, Adam is an awful person. He is not excusing what he did, but everybody is flawed. And people have to remember that no matter how famous you are, no matter how not famous you are, everybody has their own character flaws, and that is important to understand when going into a situation, no matter how serious it is. Along with the Twitter link to his initial response to Elizabeth's document. AntVenom goes on about how he's known Adam since 2009, and that around late 2011, he helped him get his PC, which led him to start making videos under the SkyDoesMinecraft channel, and pretty much kickstarted his entire career. There's even proof of the live stream that he did on Twitch TV over 10 years ago, I think when it was Justin TV still, of them getting the money for Sky. So AntVenom has known Sky since the very beginning, even before he started his YouTube channel. Before Sky's channel blew up, they would make a bunch of videos and record with AntVenom on a whole bunch of things, and they were pretty good about it. They would bounce off each other pretty well and would motivate each other to work harder, and eventually they made Minecraft Tennis together. AntVenom goes on to explain that Adam did not have a good life when they were growing up, but that he always believed that they would eventually get successful on YouTube, whether it took a long time or whether it was quickly, and you know what? They eventually did get successful on YouTube, and as a matter of fact, AntVenom mentioned some Skype conversations that he had with them way back in 2012 when the success first happened, and that Sky was ecstatic. AntVenom also mentions how before Sky got paid, he says that that was the most happiest moments of their entire life. That Sky was the greatest, happiest person ever at that moment. He even links his PAX 2012 Day 1 video where Adam is just a completely different person. He looks so happy and full of life and ready for the future. AntVenom goes on about when the first time that his relationship was strained with Adam was when they organized Survival Games 5 and didn't invite AntVenom in it. He goes on about how during this time their friendship started to kind of falter. Not to the point where they hated each other, but they just weren't talking like they used to. And AntVenom would ponder, oh, you know, maybe he's busy, or, you know, we're just going our separate ways. This is how some things end up like. Some people move on when they get busy with their own stuff. He would still talk with Adam, and as a matter of fact, the last time he met them was at Sky Media when they had lunch together. AntVenom goes on how in about 2018, that's when he started to see just how far Adam had fallen. Adam started pretty much going crazy, talking about delusional ideas that we've all heard plenty about before, but that they wouldn't push it too far and that those kind of conversations with AntVenom would slow down. In either 2019 or 2020, AntVenom would see that Adam was not in a good state of mind and that their home life was an absolute wreck, that things were just not good. He even confirms that he spoke to Elizabeth at one point, but it was a very brief conversation. AntVenom would talk about the last time he spoke with Adam was when they asked for some grocery money, which they have been doing on Twitter a couple of times already. It wasn't anything major to AntVenom, you know, he's gonna help out his friend when he can, but that it was time for Adam to get their shit together so that they can make their YouTube videos or music videos or whatever their life passions were. He wanted to be a good friend to Adam when he could, but that it was time for Adam to get their stuff together and get their career back on track. As we know by now, Adam wasn't getting their life back on track, and he ended up doing all those nasty things to Elizabeth, all behind AntVenom's back. AntVenom knew that their life wasn't looking too good, but that they thought they could get things together, and unfortunately, that's not what happened. AntVenom ends the document with saying that he likes these new modern generation of top creators because they do have their hiccups and whatnot, but they have been a much more positive influence for the generation of viewers than the last generation. He hopes that Liz is able to find peace with what happened, and that anybody else hurt by Adam, he hopes that they're able to find their own peace as well. It's interesting going through this Pastebin because AntVenom was there before Sky even had a career for themselves. They were just somebody they met online, and they happened to see that they had a real passion for making videos, so they helped them get their computer to start making videos on, and history made itself. Unfortunately, as time went on, Adam kinda went crazy and they started to pretty much treat everybody badly, and now we're here today watching this video. And AntVenom wasn't the only person that had stuff to say about the situation and what they went through. TimDotTV, somebody who worked with Adam a long time ago, had his own stuff to say. He says how working at Sky Media was possibly the darkest period of his life that he ever has been through. The constant gaslighting and mental torture would cause him to think of a lot of nasty stuff, but he was able to get out of the situation and move as far as he could. He thanks those that were able to help him through all those years during those dark points in time, and that he doesn't want to go into too many details, but that one situation that he remembers in particular was when his mother had a heart attack and that his loyalty was threatened because he wanted to leave his job and make sure that she was alright. He talks about this time where 4 fully grown adult men verbally abused and threatened him because of a small mistake in a video that actually was a mistake at all, that they just completely missed out on it, and that he did a shit ton of work, working 12-hour days and weekends for the better part of 2 years and not once get paid any sort of overtime or have it actually reflected in his actual pay. He also briefly mentions how he saw Jinbop, which, TLDR, the guy, let's just say Jinbop liked kids. He saw how Jinbop would be talking to kids on Skype and he thought it was weird, and that management told him to mind his own business and edit. Meaning that the management didn't care what Jinbop was doing late at night talking to literal children, and as we all know by now, that ended up with Jinbop going to jail. The next person talking about their experiences with Adam is Gizzy Gazza. In his Google document, he first goes over how the map creators' pod crash of the Cops and Robbers map that they played on that blew up his channel, that there was a falling out because for whatever reason they thought that Gizzy was taking credit when it turns out that Adam was the one saying that Gizzy said he was taking credit, and that Adam would go around and try to basically muddy his name and ruin his image. He talks about how Adam would tell people not to associate with Gizzy because he's a bad person, and it's been affected him all the way up until 2019, as he mentions that he was at a bar with some creators and they mentioned the Cops and Robbers story and that people still keep their distance from him because of it. He talks about ArcadiaCon 2014 and how he had an argument with somebody, but they were able to mend it together rather quick, but that Adam was still mad about it and that he felt he was always walking on eggshells whenever he was around. Not to mention they would call him Jizzy Gary in some of their videos, and he asked them not to say that because he has an audience of kids and the name Jizzy Gary, you know, ain't exactly a best one, but that they would still call him that just to annoy him. Gizzy goes on about an experience with Adam, and the main thing you get from all this is that Adam, if they like you, they will hang out with you, you know, have a good time with you, but if they don't like you, they will do whatever they can to make sure that your career sucks and that nobody will be around you. Because Adam was the biggest Minecraft YouTuber around at the time. Everybody wanted to be on their good side, and if you weren't on Adam's good side, they'd make sure that nobody was on your own as well. The last straw for Gizzy was when they made a video about Adam and that they used a scruffy and half-naked image of them in one of their Where Are They Now videos, and that Adam just completely lost it publicly on Twitter and just started to berate him. To this very day, Gizzy is still paranoid about content creators because all he's been through was being backstabbed and sidelined because Adam would make sure nobody would affiliate with him if he did anything to piss him off. The next person we have up is Mithzan. Basically what happened to him is that in 2015 he was hired to be a video editor at Sky Media, and that was supposed to be temporary, then he would transition over to talent within the first couple months. He never did that, and the deal they gave him was god awful, but he ended up signing it unfortunately, and his whole time there was just awful. He says how he was treated horribly by the CEO of the company and that they were basically using him just to make Tim, the guy we talked about earlier, look bad. Their work hours were beyond shit. This is a deeper look at just how much work they would have to put in. At least 15 to 17 hour work days. That is god awful, and they never even had a strict schedule because sometimes the CEO would never even show up. After he quit his job, he would get harassed by the CEO of the company, and they basically tried to make him look bad. On my birthday of November 2016, Scares picked up the story and echoed the lies told about me and even more false shit vilifying me. This CEO and anybody who was on his side would go out of their way to try to vilify Myth just because they didn't like him and because he quit an awful job. In 2017, he got a job as an editor for another YouTuber, and when the CEO found out about that, they started harassing him again. To put it all shortly, his time there, sure, the job sucked, but the constant harassment and false narrative that the CEO would push against him and anybody on the CEO's side put Myth through so much stress and trouble that shouldn't have happened to begin with, and that he's glad that people are at least listening now. Skelly, another person who worked with Adam, had their stuff to say about him. Skelly says how they met Adam about 2 years ago when he started to make his first comeback attempt on YouTube. They became good friends and Adam invited them to their Discord server to basically help mod it, help with YouTube streams, basically keep things under control. Skelly would soon find out that they would put him in a bunch of awful situations, and he starts to name off a bunch of them. Skelly would say how they would manipulate him by basically trying to love bomb him, calling him a bunch of good things like Sky 2, Cain, the son of Adam in the Bible, the next Sky. But they go on to say that Adam would do this to a bunch of people just so they can get their way. Skelly would go on to say how Adam wasn't a good parent to their child at all. That he was the one who kept charge of Mason and would take care of him, give him food, give him snacks, play games with him. He would say how Adam calls himself such a good parent, but then he would think about it considering that they would do almost nothing in the household according to Skelly's own experiences. And Skelly does confirm that Albert, the dog, was treated harshly, was not given a good diet whatsoever, and that Adam would basically treat them like shit. Skelly goes on to talk about Adam and their relationship problems, and basically says that Adam is not in the right mental state to do any sort of relationship, and that if he ever was kind to you, it was either because you weren't close to him, you did whatever they wanted you to do, or you got lucky. And as far as Adam's comeback career goes, it was Skelly and the other moderation team, as well as Liz, that were the ones that tried to push him to keep going forward to get back in action. He goes on to talk about how we knew Adam was doing drugs, and despite that they said they would never do it anymore, that they would stop, they would still keep doing it. Basically just a circle of lying over and over again to everybody. Skelly would go on to say a bunch of miscellaneous things that Adam would say that just rubbed him the wrong way. For example, he would demonize people that were currently or no longer in his life, such as Post Malone. Says how Adam told him he was a bloodbender like from Avatar The Last Airbender one night, but then he profusely apologized on call the next day in fear of telling somebody else, and he got upset because he believed that Skelly was stealing their energy from their dream self to relieve their insomnia. This kind of stuff falls in line with the stuff we've heard about Adam for the past 3 or 4 years, where they're just unhinged and say a lot of weird shit. This is the kind of shit that he would say. Skelly would go on to end the document basically saying that Adam is very mentally ill, that they need help but they'll dodge help as much as they can, and that the mental illness does not excuse any of their behavior whatsoever, that he affected so many people even before his mental downbreak started, to not approach them whatsoever because you're putting yourself at risk, and to not send any messages of hate toward them whatsoever, because it doesn't help. Queen Cat has 2 experiences they like to talk about, so we'll go over one twit longer and then the next. The first one is about how she would build sets for the Do Not Laugh series that Adam had on their channel, and that they were only 13 and 14 and they weren't even paid or even given a shout out for their work at all. She was even told one time that she would get a shout out in a video, and that she told all her friends and everything, and that never came, and that she was crushed. She says how she understands that it's not that big of a deal compared to the entire picture, but that's still important for people to know this. The second twit longer goes into more detail about what happened in the first one, and she also goes into some detail about the whole Jim Bob thing when he was exposed, how she was talking to him at one point before all that happened, and she thought something was weird, and basically sums everything up as she was used by Adam to make sets for her and was never given the proper credit. Now, I mentioned a little bit of Ross in the last video because at the time all he told everybody was that he was being forced into rebuying his channel name back, but he came out with some more stuff that really give you insight on how Adam is as a person. He shows some messages between him and Adam about when Adam wanted to bring back his roommate series, and that Ross is a little bit unsure if he wanted to be in it, and that Adam was basically saying yes, you're gonna be in it no matter what you say. Which falls in line with how other people are saying how Adam wouldn't care about other people's time, only their own. The next leaked DM is very ominous because Adam is like, hey yo, Roommates is gonna launch, I need your help with the mini games. Ross is saying how he was only told he only needed voiceovers, and then Adam throws some ominous shade toward him saying, I think it would benefit you in the long run, Ross. And giving Gizzy Gazza's story earlier about how if you did Adam wrong in any sort of way, they would try to make you look bad and alienate you from the rest of the Minecraft community, this came off as very, very off-putting. Ross would also go on to bring light to why he left Sky Media, a post that he made about 2 years ago now, but since it's relevant again, you know, hey, let me show it to you guys right here. MunchingBrotato would go on to say on his now account, CrispyCloud, that he deleted his original YouTube channel because Adam scared him out of his career. How Adam tweeted to their 2 million followers private DMs between the two, and that he was gonna make him look bad, and that he appreciates everybody for listening to him, and that he's moved on from the situation, and that life is good for him. There are also 2 people who have things they want to say, but they don't want to interact with the drama at all at the moment. First one is Setosorcerer, who says exactly that they're afraid to get into the drama currently, and the second person is Dawnables, one of the people that Adam dated at one point. As you guys can tell, this situation goes way deeper than anybody would have imagined. Adam has been an awful person way before they got hooked on drugs and completely ruined their lives. It seems that they have been an awful person since day one, ever since they let their money and their power get to their heads. You guys heard with Gizzy Gazza how Adam would go out of their way to try to basically ruin his online career and try to blacklist him from the Minecraft community because everybody wanted to be around Adam because they were the most popular Minecraft YouTuber, and if anybody disagreed with them, they would make sure to make your life hell. I don't know how deeper this rabbit hole goes, but it seems that there is much more to be talked about that some people don't want to talk about at the moment. Some people might still be afraid to come out about the moment. We don't know, but all these people that came out right here, no matter how big or small their issues are, everything leads down to the fact that Adam is an asshole. Sure, is it true that some of these people that collabed with Adam, would they be at the point they are at in their careers right now? Probably not, but that doesn't negate the fact that Adam was using these people and being a downright asshole to them over 10 years ago. And I know a lot of people are extremely shocked how deep this goes. People knew that he was messed up when he got on drugs. That was known stuff. But anything before the drugs, this wasn't known. It wasn't known that he was just a straight up dickhead for years upon years upon years on YouTube, trying to ruin others' careers if they did him wrong or he just didn't like him at all to begin with. Adam is clearly not a good person even before they got hooked on drugs. So to see all this coming out all at once is a lot for people to take in. This is where I ask y'all's opinion on the situation. Do y'all think it's gonna get bigger? Do you think this might be the peak of everything? For me, I think there's a little more to go over, but I think all this information went over might be the peak for now. And it's just sad because I know a lot of people, I know a lot of y'all watching this video right now were huge fans of him when y'all were kids. I said in my last video, I never really liked him that much as a kid. I thought he was weird. And I guess in some weird way, my gut instinct was with me because, man, this person is just, they're a piece of shit. Even before they got hooked on drugs, they were treating people awfully. And now, ever since they got on drugs, it's just been a whole nother person entirely. I hope Adam gets the help that they need, but for now, forgiveness is not on the list because all these things that he has done over the years is awful. Make sure to tell me your opinion in the comments below. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it somehow, the new information. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, with all of that out of the way, I will see you guys later.